Hello, my backspin username is Dionysus. This is my first video in a second series of videos geared towards rookie bingo money players. In this second series of videos, I'm going to explain the basic strategies that a complete newcomer to bingo money or someone who has only played a few games, what you want to aim at eventually mastering so that you can evolve into one of the better players on the platform. So this will kind of give you a foundation to learn some more of the advanced strategies. So in these foundational videos, foundational skill videos, I'm going to ask three questions. What are the most effective squares to daub on the card and why? When should I use a free daub and when should I use a golden ball power up and why? When should I use my double points power up and why? So having the answers to these questions will provide you with some basic skills that you can build upon later. In this first video, we'll answer the first question. What are the most effective squares to daub on the card and why? In general, these are going to be the outer corners and the inner corners. So let's look at a few games to demonstrate what I mean by outer and inner corners and how you can do this with your power-ups. Okay, let's take a look at this bingo card. What do I mean by outer corners and inner corners? The outer corners are the top and bottom uh, squares in the B and in the O column. So in this card, the outer corners are going to be 13, 7, 62, and 67. These are generally the best squares to daub, and the reason why they are the best squares to daub is because each one of these numbers are used in four different lines. Um, the kind of runner-up or second best squares to daub are the inner corners. And the inner corners occur in the I and in the G columns. In the I column, this will be, on this card, will be the I-22, I-25, the G46, and the G55. These squares form the inner corners, and they are used in diagonal lines. So these squares are the second best squares to daub because they are used in three separate lines. All the other numbers on the board, all the other positions on the board are used only in two lines. The outer corners are used in four, the inner corners are used in three, so they are the more effective lines to daub. And let me just give a quick illustration of what I mean by when I say that an outer corner is used in four lines and an inner corner is used in three lines. So take the outer corner B13. It's used in the line that comprises the B column. It's used in the line, the horizontal line that consists of B13, 27, 44, 51, and 62. It's also used in the line created by the four outer corners, so that's three, and it's used in the diagonal whose endpoints are B13 and O67. Now, the inner corner, for example, I-25, is used only in three lines. It's used in a horizontal and a vertical line that it occurs in. It's also used in the diagonal that begins with B13 and ends with O67, but it's not used in any other line. So it's used in three, which makes it which makes the inner corners the second best squares to daub. So let's look at one of my own games where I implement the outer inner corners strategy. At this point in the match, there's about 40 seconds left. Only 6 numbers have been called, and I've generated 3 power-ups. So when the next number is called, I have to use one of my power-ups. But as you can see, there's no square that when daubed will make a line. But I have to pick a number. What I want to do is pick the most effective number, and this is where the outer inner corner strategy comes into play. So let's resume this match for a second to see this strategy in action. The I-18 is called. I use my free daub, and I daub B4. Now, of course, B4 is the best number to daub in that situation. 075 would be equally good, if not better. And the reason is the outer numbers are used in the most amount of lines. Given that you cannot make a line, you want to choose those numbers that are used in the most amount so that later on, when more numbers are called, they are the number that you daubed is more likely to occur in a line. Now, using the outer and inner corner strategy is easy when you use a free daub because you can just daub whatever number you want. However, things get a bit more complicated when you use a golden ball because you are given four numbers and you can't see the board any longer. So this is where memorization comes into play. Given that no square makes a line, when you use a golden ball, to prepare for using a golden ball, the best thing to do is to memorize those numbers left on the board that feature in outer corners or inner corners. So again, let's look at a segment of the game that I'm playing here to demonstrate this. Once the I-27 is called, I generate a golden ball power-up. So when the next number is called, I have to use a golden ball. To prepare for this, I'm quickly scanning the board and for the outer corners and the inner corners left and memorizing them. So in this case, I've memorized the 22, 52, 57, and 75 to prepare for using the golden ball. So let's take a look at the part of this game where I implement the outer inner corner strategy with the golden ball. Now, what's going to happen is the I-23 is called, and when the I-23 is called, I use the golden ball with those four numbers that I've memorized in mind. So let's start the match up here. The I-23 is called. I use the golden ball. I scan. I see the 75 that I've memorized, and I choose it. Now, another number is going to be called quickly, and so I have to have those numbers memorized. I had the 52 memorized, and I choose it from the numbers offered. And again, we'll let the game play so you can see this strategy implemented even more. So the 72 is a good number, but the 22 and 57 are good as well. The 72 is good, obviously, because it creates a line, but the 22 will eventually create a line with the 57. And we'll let this match play out. Here, there was the 57 wasn't offered, so I chose the 72. And so I got the 57 in mind. That's the best line number to choose. With the golden ball, the 57 came up, so I chose it. And I'm just finishing the match here. X2 comes up at the end. So the main takeaway of this first video for rookie BingoMoney players is twofold. First, you want to create the habit of daubing the inner and outer corners when there's no square that will actually make a line. These squares are the best squares to daub because they are featured in the most amount of lines. The outer corners are featured in 4, the inner corners are featured in 3. The second habit you want to create is memorizing at least 3 to 4 of the inner corners and outer corners for use with the golden ball. When you use the golden ball, you're only given 4 numbers, and you want to pick the most effective one. So you need to memorize those inner and outer corners. Those are the 2 takeaways from this first video on strategies for rookies. I hope this video on rookie BingoMoney strategies was helpful to you. If it was, check out the second and third videos in this series. The second video asks the question, when should I use my free daub and purple and golden ball, and why? Essential to that video is the concept of pre-daubing, which I'll explain to you. And the third video asks, when should I use my X2 or double points power up, and why? I'll have links to those videos in the description below.